Hi, welcome to Craft Little Things. If you already know what this is all about, just forward to, I'll put a little link here somewhere telling you which part of the video to forward to, so you go straight to the tutorial and you cut out all the preamble. This is a really super simple beanie pattern, and I'm going to do it really close up and really slowly. Sorry, the recyclers are emptying all the bins, so there's a bit of noise, sorry about that. This is for a challenge that's on a Facebook group called Beanies. If you're a crocheter or a knitter, go along and join in with the challenge. All you have to do is make these, as many of these hats as you can, in a 3-month period between the 8th of September and the 8th of December this year. And you donate them in your local area to people in need, so you just drop them in at a homeless centre or a women's refuge if you're going to make kids hats, and just use up scrap yarn, things from your stash. And this is just a really simple pattern if you're a crocheter that you can follow, and this pattern is available on that Facebook group. You can share your own patterns, share your own tutorials, do whatever you like on there, in the interest of the community and in keeping with the theme. And this is just a little project in memory of my nephew Ben, who died just aged 18 in December last year from undiagnosed type 1 diabetes. And just before he died, he'd been collecting warm clothing and things for homeless people to see them through the winter. So we thought we'd run this little project and see if we can get some. We've got a challenge to see if we can get 100 hats made as a community. So we've opened up even though we're not starting the challenge until September, we've opened up the Facebook group now so people can get started and get sharing and try and build up a little bit of a vibe and a buzz. Okay, so this is a really, really simple tutorial. Right, so what you need for this is some chunky yarn or 2 strands of DK. And what that means, because this is for absolute beginners, if you look at yarns, you'll see that they've got different weights and thicknesses. This is a chunky, which is equivalent to 2 strands of a DK, which is a double knit DK. And that yarn is a really popular common yarn to use for crocheting and knitting. And to get the same sort of thickness as a chunky yarn, you'd use 2 strands of that, so you'd sort of have 2 balls going together. Okay, but if you can get a chunky yarn, all well and good. Mariners, I think this is from Mariners. Mariners yarns, which I'll link below, are super, super good value for chunky yarns and for DKs. So, I mean, unless things are in a sale, I've never found anyone as good value as they are. So definitely head down to there for your supplies if you haven't got any. It's just £1 for a 100-gram ball of DK, and I think it's the same, or £1.25 or something for chunky, which is ridiculously good value. You'd get a few hats out of 1 ball as well. And then the other thing you need is a crochet hook. The pattern calls for a 9mm hook, and you'll see these sizes are here, but I'm actually using an 8mm hook today because I wanted mine to be smaller for a lady. You can increase the size of the hat by adding more rows or by using a larger hook or a smaller hook. You need a yarn needle just for stitching in. I'm just using this plastic one just for stitching ends in, and I've got a little stitch marker here, but you can just thread a piece of yarn through instead, and then some little scissors. I've got my little cute scissors here. So, getting started then, right. There is a series of absolute beginners. There's a playlist for absolute beginners crochet tutorials that do everything step by step, which again, I'll link that playlist below. It's on my channel. But I am going to do this as if it's for an absolute beginner. There's also another video showing how to make these hats, which isn't for absolute beginners. If you're a little bit more advanced, you might want to go and check that out. So I'll also link that below. I've got some linking to do, aren't I? Right, so to start off then, we're looking at the pattern here. And it says, begin by making a magic circle or a chain 4 and a slip stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a chain 4 because it's easier to show you. So I'm going to zoom right in and I'm going to really attempt to stay in shot because I am a bit of a strayer. So you lay your yarn, pull down a lot of your yarn. You can see I've got yarn pulled down here. Lay your yarn across your fingers, like so, okay? Now just get hold of this piece and just pull it behind your 2 fingers, cross it over. It's just like you're wrapping your fingers up, and then just secure it like that. So you've got 2 pieces there. Put your hook under the first piece and grab the second piece, and then just twist as you come under, and then just pull all of that off, and then pull your yarn that's attached to your ball of wool and you create a slip knot. Okay, and that's how you begin with crochet. A lot of people can't get past that phase, so I'm going to show you again. Lay your yarn across your hand, pull it around these 2 fingers and cross it over, and then just grab it like so. Put your hook underneath, grab that piece there, and as you pull it under, just twist your hook just so it can't come off, and then just really gradually just pull your fingers out and just pull the hook away. Get hold of your piece of yarn that is attached to your ball, and that just pull that on, and there you go. And that's a loop on your hook, and putting loops on the hook is what crochet is all about. So now hold your crochet however suits you. I mean, I hold mine like this, so I pop it around my fingers like that, but it's up to you. I mean, it's difficult to crochet like holding it like this. I used to crochet over the back of my finger, so it's just get used to holding it however's comfortable for you, and then you put your hook, hold it however you hold it. It needs to be quite tight. Put your hook underneath, grab some yarn and pull it through the loop that was on your hook. Hook underneath, grab some yarn and pull it through, and you're crocheting. That's 2 stitches you've done. Hook underneath and pull it through. Hook underneath and pull it through. And now you have 4 stitches. Can you see them? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got your 4 stitches on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your hook. Try and keep your yarn nice and so it's not too tight, but it'll leave it loose enough so that it will slide around, but nice and taut so that you can get into it. So pop your hook into that stitch. See that stitch at the beginning? Hook in, grab some yarn, pull it through that stitch, and then pull it through the stitch on your hook, and that's a slip stitch. And now you've got a ring with a hole in the middle. Can you see? There's your hole in the middle. Don't mistake where your hole is. I'm just going to do that again for you. Lay your yarn over your fingers, wrap it around and across, anchor it with that finger, hook underneath, pull some yarn through, pull it off your fingers and away, pull that straight. Now get hold of your yarn, hook underneath, pull some through, 1, do it again, 2, grab some yarn, 3, grab some yarn, 4, and now you're going to go into your first stitch, which is this space here. Put your hook into there grab some yarn, pull it through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, and then just pull through the first loop. And there you have it, and you've done your ring. And that's how you start off crocheting in what's called the round. Okay, so now we're on to round 1. So that's your starting sort of your foundation ring. So after making the magic ring or circle, whichever way you choose, chain 2 and then double crochet 9 into the ring. Okay, so chain 2, so yarn over and pull through the loop, yarn over and pull through the loop. That's your chain 2. And now you're going to do 9 double crochets into this hole. Now you're going to start crocheting. Believe me, this is the hardest bit. So to do a double crochet, this is in US terms, you yarn over, keep that on the hook, push your hook into the hole, grab some yarn, pull it through, so you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 again. And there you have your first stitch. Now do it again, yarn over, put your hook into the hole, grab some yarn and pull it through, so you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So I've got 2 stitches there. Yarn over and put your hook into the hole, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then you just keep doing that until you've done 9. So yarn over into the hole, grab some yarn and pull it through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, hook into the hole, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, hook into the hole, grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over. If you have trouble with your hook, the yarn coming off your hook, just hold it with your finger, and then as you push it in, just make sure that your yarn is behind your hook, if you like. Push it in, grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So I've lost track of how many we've done now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more. Yarn over into the hole, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over into the hole, pull some through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's your first round done. So now what you want to do is 2 double crochets in the top of the first double crochet from the last round. Right, so this is our double crochet. We're ignoring that where we've stitched 2 here. That was just to get us up some height. So we're going into here. Now can you see? I'll zoom in and hope I remember to zoom out again. So you've got sort of a circle here, and at the top, this is your chain 2 that you did at the beginning, so ignore that. And this is your first stitch. At the top of that stitch, you've got 2 strands there. Can you see them? And that is the top of your stitch, and you'll have one of those at the top of every stitch around, so you'll have 9 of those all the way around. And what you're going to do is do a double crochet again, but you're going to put 2 into each of those. So how you do that is you yarn over, just get hold of my yarn, you yarn over, and then you keep hold of your yarn as you did when you put it into the circle, and you put it underneath those 2 parts of the stitch, and you grab your yarn just the same as you did before, so you've got 3 loops on the hook, and then you yarn over and you pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. and then you want to put another one in the same space. So yarn over, you can see where you're going, put your hook into that space, into that chain, into that stitch, pull some yarn through, you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now you've got 2 in there. Now you move to your next stitch, which is here. And there you go, there's your 2 strands that you want to be underneath. Yarn over, put your hook into there, pull some yarn through, so you've got 3 on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, yarn over into that same stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we'll go on to the next stitch, which is here. Your first stitch is always the hardest because after that they start to open up. So yarn over, go into this stitch, put your hook in, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into this stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next one. And in the same one, do another one. Okay, you're cooking on gas now. Next one. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over into the stitch, pull some yarn through, and then over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and into the same stitch. There we go. Next stitch. Yarn over to the same stitch. Yarn over into the next stitch. Yarn over into the same stitch. Okay, can you see it start to take shape? Into the next stitch. And another one into the same stitch. Now I've lost track of how many stitches I've done. I think I might be there 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, yeah. So I'm there, I've done my 18. So now what I want to do is I want to go into the top of the stitch. This isn't a real stitch, this is a sort of pretend stitch here. So when you want to count your stitches, you can count the post or you can count the tops of the stitch, okay, this little sort of V shape. And it's always best to count backwards. So if I want to check I've got 18, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that is a real stitch, sorry. Made a bit of a boo-boo there. Right, so we want to double crochet into the top of that stitch. Okay, so yarn over, hook into that stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we want to do it again, yarn over, into the stitch, and we want to go all the way around now for 36 stitches, so we want to put 2 in each stitch all the way around again. So yarn over, it's exactly the same, but now we're going to do 2 in every stitch until we've got 36 stitches. Okay, I'm just going to pull some yarn down. If you try to work with your yarn, it depends. If your ball's quite loosely sort of strung together, or if it's a recycled ball that you've kind of wound up yourself quite loosely, you don't need to have so much down. But if it's a tight new ball or something, then you might need more. Okay, so now I've done, that was 2 sets, wasn't it? Yeah, that was 2 sets. So yarn over, pull yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull some yarn through, pull through 2, pull through 2. Same stitch, do another one, next stitch, and then I'm just going to keep sewing, and you just keep going now. Okay. Otherwise you'll get sick of the sound of my voice. Just remember to keep putting 2 stitches in each stitch around. You do sometimes get tangled yarn if you've got too much down. And just keep going. Yarn over into the stitch, get under those 2 pieces and pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's that easy. And look how fast it starts to work up. When you use a chunky yarn and a big hook, your project will work up much faster. And work up means start to turn into something. Grow faster. If I was using a DK now and a small hook, this would still be very small. And there we go. 2 into each stitch around. I've lost track again, so let's count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Right, so and that's the last one. .36. So now you've got 36 stitches. So now what we're going to do is 1 double crochet into the top of the first double crochet, and then crochet 1 double into each stitch around. Now what you can do here, you can pop your stitch marker in if you want. Now where you pop your stitch marker, I'm just going to pull that out of the way. Where you pop your stitch marker, just my needle, this is the loop that's on your hook. You pop your stitch marker in there, in behind the post of that stitch. Okay, just push it through. Like I say, you can put anything through. You can put a pin, put a piece of yarn through, whatever you want through. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to stitch around until the last stitch we put in will be into there, to that stitch. You see that's gone under the 2 strands. Can you see that? So the last stitch we'll put will be into there. So we're just going to do 1 stitch around exactly as we did before. I'll just do the first one close in, and then I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I'm getting a little bit claustrophobic and the work's getting bigger than the shot. So yarn over, pop your hook into that first stitch there, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, let's do that again. Yarn over, into that stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I think I've actually missed. Right, so for the first shot then, for the first stitch, yarn over, we're going to put our hook into this stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're just going to stitch right the way around until we get to this stitch marker. Okay, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and then I'm going to just go around. Now I'm going to do it relatively slowly, but I'm not going to do it ridiculously slowly, because by now you really should have the hang of doing a double crochet. And as I said, a double crochet is US terms. In UK terms, a double crochet is called a single crochet. And if things weren't complicated enough as it was already. I'm just going to pull some more yarn down, because otherwise I'm not going to get good tension. If you don't know what I'm talking about, tension, then have a look at my Absolute Beginners playlist, and it explains a little bit. This yarn is such a beautiful colour. I think this is called, was this one called Heather? I'm not sure. But it's a lovely colour. I'll have a look and see if it's still current. They do tend to be pretty consistent with their colours at Mariner, which is another thing I like about them. I'm not sure that's my phone ringing off, it's next doors. I mean, when I first started buying from Mariners, there's only one colour. You might know I'd made half a blanket using it, and that was a blue in the Aran that I couldn't get again, and I'd made nearly all of a snowflake motif blanket. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I couldn't finish it off. But usually every other shade is still in production, that was in production then. And that was just a few years back now. They're pretty consistent. They do add to their range. As well, quite regularly now. They have the most vibrant orange. It's beautiful. And you'll notice with this round, what will start to happen is your sides of your hat will start to turn up. and there we are at the end. So pop one stitch in there, and that'll give us our 36 round. And the hat's not going to be that small, don't worry about that. It will grow, and it sort of changes shape as it grows. But we're starting to get that basic shape now. And then we need to repeat that. So we need to do one stitch all the way around. So what we want to do is take our loop out again, go behind that stitch there and pop the stitch marker in. And we want to do round 5 to 10. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 6 more rows of 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And it says on the pattern, you can increase the number of rows if you want a deeper hat or if you want to turn up a brim. So we're just going to do that. We're going to go round again and round again and round again and round again for 6 rounds. Okay, and that will build the hat. So I don't know if you want me to do that on camera. I don't think I need to do that on camera. I think I'll do that off camera. And then I'll come back and we'll finish it off. And that's it, done. It's as simple as that. And if you can make this, you can make little bowls, you can make coasters, because if you'd stopped there, you'd have had a coaster. If you carried on increasing, you'd grow your circle. You could make a pan holder. You get bigger. You could do a placemat. That's how you start to make a bag. There's so much you can do from this beginning. So just go around and go around for 6. Now what I'd do for 6 is to make sure I don't lose count, I would get something, a little piece of paper like this. 1, 2, 3, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 6 little pieces of paper there, and every time I finish a round I just get rid of one of them, and then I know how many rounds I've got to have left, and when they've all gone I know I'm finished. Okay, and every time move your stitch marker up when you come to the end of your round. Okay, so I'll leave you to do that and I'll meet you back when we've done 6 more rounds. Okay. And now I'm just on to the final round, so I thought I'd come back. I'm just going to finish the final round. You see we're inside out at the minute because we've got our straggler there. So this is the right side of the hat. So we'll just keep on going. Now coming to the end of that round. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out and I'm just going to pop it into that stitch. Seem to want to go through. So last piece. And now we're going to put a single crochet all the way around. A single crochet is, instead of yarning over, you just put your hook into the stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through, so you've got 2 on the hook, yarn over and just pull through the 2, okay? Hook into the stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over and pull through the 2. Hook into the stitch, so under the 2 little pieces, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's just a single crochet. We're just going to pop one of those in every stitch all the way around. This is a really nice hat, this. I love the colour. I've had this ball of, you see, this kind of project is great for using up stash, because it doesn't matter what colour they are. Somebody who's homeless isn't going to get upset if they've got a purple hat, if they'd rather have a red one. You know, somebody in need, not that you just give people stuff that nobody else wants, but, you know, people in need are not bothered about the things that most of us are bothered about, like worrying about whether something matches or has got this label on it or that label on it. So just single crochet all the way around. I might make some little labels actually. Ben's Beanies labels. I'll show you how to make labels as well if you want. Save yourself money buying them off other people. And then the final one in where we've got our stitch marker. Take the stitch marker out, and then what we do is we just pop our hook into the next stitch. Don't yarn over or anything, just pop it in, pull some yarn through, don't yarn over, just pull through for a slip stitch. Now yarn over and pull through plenty of yarn for sewing in, and cut off and pull that, and that will be our hat complete. That's a nice size, that, for a woman with a 9, or to just make it that bit bigger for a man. And I mean, if you know, if it wants to be for a smaller child, then they can just fold it over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thread up this straggler. I'm going to thread up the straggler and I'm just going to sew it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go across the little hole that we began at a couple of times. And I'm just going to snip it off. And then for this one, I'm just going to thread it up again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find a stitch to stitch it into. If you just go into the different layers of a stitch and pull it in, and then go across maybe to another stitch and pull it in, another stitch, and just weave it in. And then I'm just going to sort of go back on itself again. I'm just going to weave it in just so it's nicely finished off in there. Go back to where I came from. This time I'm just going to loop through just to put a new knot in, and then I'm just going to go along, weave through to lose it. Okay, and then just pull it tight and then let it pop back. And then turn my hat the right way, and there it is. Nice hat there for somebody. And like I said, I'm going to just make a simple flower to fasten on to the side of it, this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my yarn, put it over my fingers and do my slip knot, and then I'm just going to chain 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to chain 50. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the third chain, 1, 2, 3, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a single crochet. So I'm going to put my hook in, pull some yarn through, yarn over and pull through 2. And now I'm going to do a double crochet, a half double crochet, so yarn over into the next chain, pull some yarn through, yarn over and pull through all 3 on the hook. Then I'm going to do a double, so yarn over into the next chain, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then I'm going to do a treble, yarn over twice, into the next chain, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. My yarn's all over the place. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep repeating this. So I'm going to come down to a double, pull through 2, pull through 2, do a half double, yarn over, a half double, and then I'm going to do a single, and then I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to do a half double, a double, a treble, a double, a half double, a single, and I'm just going to keep repeating that right to the end. Okay, so I'm going to just do that off camera, and now we're coming to the end. So I've just done a single, so I'm just going to do the half treble, or the half double, yarn over and do a double, yarn over twice and do the treble, triple stitch, yarn over once and do the double, yarn over once and do the half treble, and then the single. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into that starting chain, I'm going to pull through and do and finish off with a slip knot. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie these two stragglers together so they're nice and tight, and then this straggler I'm going to sew that in, the shorter one. Leave the longer one out of the way. I'm going to sew the shorter one. I'm just going to push it, weave it in, because there's no need to sew it in as such because it's been tied over. I'm just going to push all of that in there and just snip it off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread up this longer end, and I'm going to start to roll this, and every time I've rolled it a couple of rolls I'm just going to thread through. I'm just going to thread through my yarn just to hold it in place. That the other side, and just, do you know what, I've done it wrong. Just need to make a mistake straight away. Right, and then I'm going to thread. If you look at this, you've got your rising and falling, okay? So I'm going to just take this I'm just going to thread this up, this straggler. And what I want to do is use the bottom and just roll it up and just pop it through now and again. That's what I've sort of done around. Pop it through just to secure the base there. And just roll it round like a snail. And just weave, you can just weave some stitches through, just so that it holds it together. And you've got a nice sort of floppy flower there. I'm just going to pop one to hold that bit there. And then I'm just going to pop one in to hold the last bit there. Okay. And then we've got that flower shape. And the petals are coming out. And then I'm just going to bring that end to the other end. And then I'm just going to pop a nice stitch right the way through the middle. And what you can do is you can pop a button in the middle of the flower if you want, or something like that, if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to sew it onto the side here. Because if you want to sew a button on, you could sew one on now. I'm just going to take it through to the centre. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew it through the middle. So I'm just going to push it right through. Let it slip out my hook, out my needle, I mean. And then I'm just going to push back through, come through the middle again. Just come back through, come through the middle again. And then I'm just going to stitch it over. I want it to be quite floppy, so I'm just going to stitch it through. And tie it off. Give it a nice pull so it pulls it down a bit and gives it a nice sort of flowery, floppy shape. And then I've tied it off and I'm just going to bury this yarn into the flower itself. Okay, put it through, push the yarn up into the flower, and then just lose your yarn in your flower. Okay, and there you have it. Like I say, if you want to stick a little button in there, it'd look really cute. I've got some really cute little buttons that go in there, but you don't have to. I mean, that's lovely as it is. And there we have it, a lovely warm hat, suitable for anybody. It's a lovely stylish hat anyway. There we go. So, I hope you enjoyed making that, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.